Welcome to Friday on Fridays, the show where I review every single Friday the 13th film every Friday in under 13 minutes. I'm your host, Ryan Reed. So, since the clock has already started, I'm already like 20 seconds into it. You know the drill. This is how this show is going to work. If you haven't seen episode 1, I talk about the synopsis of the film. I talk about things that I like, things that I don't like. I talk about my favorite kill in the movie. And I do this all with also giving it a rewatchability, a 1 to 5 rewind scale, which means how rewatchable is the film. It's not a quality thing, it's a rewatchability thing. Also, this is a show where I stumble over words because I'm talking so fast, so if that bugs you, sorry about that. But here we go, Friday the 13th, Part 2. This is really where the series kicks off, and it is a fantastic film in the franchise. What happens in this film? Well, again, a bunch of camp counselors are at a camp and they start getting killed off. That is the plot of the movie. They basically took Friday the 13th Part 1 and made Friday the 13th Part 2. Also, this is the introduction to Jason. There might be minor spoilers in this, but I'm trying to avoid big spoilers as much as humanly possible. But that said, the film does a pretty big job of telegraphing who it is. Even though the film still plays out like a whodunit, we all kind of know that this is Jason, which logically makes no sense with the end of Friday the 13th, the original. But, you know, as a franchise, as a film franchise that we, the fans, love dearly, we kind of just forgave for that, and I just kind of go, well, Jason, he was living in the woods, and he couldn't find his way back, or whatever. Now he's a grown man, and cool, whatever, that's fine. Doesn't matter. It ultimately is about Jason killing teens, and that's kind of what we're all here to watch, the entertainment factor of a horror movie. Now, this film is really where Friday the 13th kind of gets its legs, and where the series really gets going. It is often cited as one of the best in the franchise, and I would agree with that. The characters are very likable. The kills are kind of, a lot of them are surprises, and while Tom Savini is, you know, of course, missed in his effects department, I think the films in this franchise are almost more recognizable. They're ones that stand out in the franchise as a whole, more than the first one. The first one has one or two that are really iconic, but the rest are kind of, you know, they're great effects, but they're kind of forgettable kills. This one kind of ratchets that up. On top of that, this is the first introduction, like I said, to Jason, but it's a very different Jason. It's a Jason with a bag over his head instead of the hockey mask that has become very iconic, as we all know and love. But that said, it is still kind of Jason as we get to know him, and it's the first introduction to Jason. He's a very imposing figure, and he works really, really, really well in the film, even though, again, logically, it makes no sense that he's still alive, but whatever, it doesn't matter. It's okay. We accept that. It's okay. We embrace you, Friday the 13th Part 2. You are amazing. Moving on. Let's talk about the effects in the film. Like I said, pretty solid effects. Some of the deaths are more memorable. There are a few that are reportedly were cut by the MPAA, but that said, they're still pretty cool. The one that always comes to my mind, my favorite kill in the movie, is going to be the death of the character in the wheelchair. Unfortunately, I don't remember his name, and I feel really bad because I probably should have looked that up before I started this video. But that death is just so, especially for the time period, it's something you wouldn't expect. Nowadays in a horror movie, you'd be like, oh, cool. You know, whatever. You'd kind of see that maybe telegraphed a little bit more, but back in the 80s, you didn't see it coming. Also, the way that the film is shot, you think that is going to be from behind him. No, it's up front, bam, machete in the face, wheelchair goes backward down the stairs. It's just a very iconic shot, and it's been played, I think, in Part 4 when they're, you know, replaying it. It's a very iconic death in the movie, and it's a character that you really like. That's the good thing about the first couple Friday the 13th. All the characters are really characters that you care for. And this is a character that is very interesting. We like his backstory. We like him as a character. He's fascinating, and then bam, death, total shock, and it is one of the most memorable deaths in the Friday the 13th franchise. So, with that said, what is the rewatchability of Friday the 13th Part 2? This is a great film. It's a solid slasher movie. It's an introduction to Friday the 13th, the series as we know it. It's got a great jump scare at the end, although technically it is kind of just the same jump scare for the first movie, but it works just as well here. It's got some solid performances, it's got some really likable characters, the script is pretty good, and the deaths are pretty amazing. So ultimately what I would give this, 5 rewinds out of 5. What does that mean? It's one film that I go back and I rewatch fairly often, and it holds up incredibly well in the Friday the 13th franchise. So, what are your thoughts on Friday the 13th Part 2? Oh, I guess what? Oh, hey, nice, I'm pretty good. Got about 8 minutes, so I can leisurely end this. What are your thoughts on Friday the 13th Part 2? Is it one of your favorites in the series? Is it one that you don't care for as much? Talk to me. Tell me which one is your favorite in the franchise. And tell me what you think of Friday the 13th Part 2. Where does it rank in a list? On top of that, check out some of my other videos. We have all kinds of stuff. There's Fright Films. There is impromptu reviews, all kinds of great videos where I don't stumble over my words nearly as much because I'm not under a time constraint. But please, if you like this video, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.